Let's talk about a story you think you know. It's the one with the guy and the giant fish, right? Well, that's just the beginning. The real story here isn't just about what happened to Jonah, it's about what was going on inside of him. This is a wild ride about running from your calling, getting angry about mercy, and a final lesson that honestly is as relevant today as it was thousands of years ago.
I mean, really think about it. You've been there, right? That feeling when you're tasked with something huge, something difficult, maybe something you absolutely do not want to do, and your gut reaction is just to bolt, to go anywhere else. Well, hold on to that feeling because that's exactly where this ancient story kicks off. So let's meet our main guy, Jonah. He's a prophet. His whole job is basically to be a messenger for God. He hears the message, he goes where he's told, and he delivers it. Sounds pretty straightforward, doesn't it? Well, he's about to get an assignment that's going to test every fiber of his being. And there it is, the mission. Go to Nineveh. Now, you have to understand, Nineveh wasn't just some random city. It was the capital of Assyria, the sworn enemy of Jonah's people. They were known for being incredibly cruel. So this command is like being told to walk into the headquarters of your worst enemy and tell them they're terrible people and are about to be destroyed. This is the call to action, and it is a heavy one. So, what does our prophet do? Does he bravely pack his bags and head for Nineveh? Not quite. This is where our story takes its first and most famous dramatic turn. I mean, you just have to appreciate the sheer defiance here. God says go east, toward modern-day Iraq. So what does Jonah do? He marches straight down to the port and buys a one-way ticket west, to Tarshish. We're talking about the absolute opposite end of the known world at the time. He's not just dodging a responsibility, he is trying to get as far away from God as physically possible. Well, as you can probably guess, you can't just ghost God and expect smooth sailing. Out of nowhere, this absolutely terrifying storm just kicks up. And this isn't just a bit about weather. The text makes it clear this is a supernatural grade A tempest. These are seasoned sailors, and they are in a total panic. The ship is literally being torn apart by the waves. They're throwing precious cargo overboard, desperately praying to any god that might listen. It is absolute chaos. The sailors know this isn't natural. They figure someone on board must have made a god angry. So they do what people did back then. They cast lots to find the culprit. It's basically a way of rolling the dice to get a divine answer. And, well, guess who the lots point to? Our reluctant prophet, Jonah. The game is up. Jonah comes clean. He tells them the whole story, that he's running from his God, the God who made the very sea that's trying to kill them. And he knows there's only one way out. He tells them, it's me. You want to save yourselves? You have to throw me overboard. Now, the sailors actually try to save him first, rowing like mad for shore. But it's no use. So they finally do it. They pick up Jonah and they throw him into the sea. And the second he hits the water, poof, the storm just stops. The sea becomes perfectly calm. But just as Jonah is sinking down, something incredible happens. God sends a great fish to swallow him whole. So, the storm on the outside is over. But for Jonah, a whole different journey is just getting started. He's gone from a chaotic ship to the silent, dark abyss inside a giant fish. This next part is all about what happens when he finally hits rock bottom. 3 days and 3 nights. Just let that sink in. Trapped in total darkness, in the belly of a creature, deep in the sea. It's basically being buried alive. And it's here, at the lowest possible point, that Jonah finally stops running and starts talking to God again. And here you can see his change of heart. Inside the fish, Jonah prays. But it's not just help me, get me out of here. It's a prayer of realization, even thanksgiving. He recognizes that even in this impossible, grave-like place, God can still hear him. His defiance has finally broken. So, after 3 days of this, let's call it divine timeout, God gives the command and the fish just vomits Jonah right onto a beach. He's alive. He's on dry land. He's been given probably the weirdest and most dramatic second chance in all of history. All right, so what do you do with the second chance like that? God tells him the exact same thing. Go to Nineveh. This time, Jonah actually goes, but the result of his mission is something he never ever wanted. This chain of events is just unbelievable. Jonah walks into this huge foreign city and gives what has to be the most unenthusiastic sermon in history. It's basically, in 40 days, this place is toast. That's it. But the reaction is insane. Everybody, from the king on his throne down to the lowest servant, believes him. The entire city repents, fasting and mourning. And because they genuinely change their ways, God has mercy and doesn't destroy the city. So you'd think Jonah would be ecstatic, right? Mission accomplished, the world's greatest prophet. But this is the real twist of the entire story. This is where we finally find out why he ran away in the first place.
This is just mind-blowing. Jonah is furious. He's having a full-on tantrum. He says to God, "I knew it. I knew you were merciful and compassionate, and I knew you'd forgive them." He didn't run because he was scared of the Ninevites. He ran because he was scared God would be nice to them. He wanted his enemies to be punished, not forgiven. He's so upset about God's mercy that he actually asks to die. So God decides to teach him one last lesson, like a living parable. Jonah's sitting outside the city, sulking. God makes a plant grow up super fast to give him shade from the hot sun, and Jonah is so happy about this little plant. But the next day, God sends a worm to kill it. The plant withers, the sun beats down, and Jonah is once again so angry and miserable he wants to die. All over a plant. And that's when God hits him with this simple, devastatingly clear question. Are you right to be this angry about a plant? It's a question designed to make Jonah stop and think about what he truly values. And here's the final lesson, laid out perfectly. God basically says, look at you. You have all this pity and concern for a plant you didn't make, that was here one day and gone the next. And you're telling me I shouldn't have concern for the massive city of Nineveh, a city filled with over 120,000 people and all their animals? And that's how the story ends, with that question just hanging there. It's a challenge, not just to Jonah, but to all of us. Who do we think deserves mercy? Is our compassion limited only to people who look and think like us? The story leaves us to wrestle with that uncomfortable question. Is our circle of concern as big as it should be?